In the early morning, a man who had been paralyzed for 8 years wheeled himself into the swimming pool, seemingly attempting to take his own life. Fortunately, he was rescued in time and, after being rushed to the hospital, his life was saved. When his wife came to pick him up for discharge, House suddenly showed up. As soon as House opened his mouth, he mocked the man, calling him a burden to the family and advising him to give up. Naturally, the wife angrily refused, determined to take her husband home. However, House stared intently at the man. Seeing that he showed no reaction, House then said that his wife was already tired of taking care of the paralyzed husband. Still, the man remained unresponsive. Just as the wife was about to help the man out of the hospital, House noticed that the man's mouth moved. He immediately rushed over, told the wife to put the man down, and leaned in to listen. Although he only heard a faint sound, House was convinced that it was a crucial clue. House spent the whole night sorting through the hospital's paralysis cases and asked his subordinates to compare them with the man's situation. The subordinates complained a great deal, and the hospital's leader also accused him of tormenting people, but House remained unmoved. After the comparison, House speculated that the man might have a cyst in his pancreas and insisted that his subordinates perform an upper respiratory endoscopy on him. The subordinates strongly opposed this because the man's neck muscles had severely degenerated, and the examination carried a great risk. Nevertheless, House was determined. As expected, no cyst was found in the pancreas during the examination. When the endoscope was being withdrawn, the man's throat collapsed, and an emergency tracheotomy had to be performed. House, however, insisted that the problem lay in the brain and wanted to conduct a brain scan on the man. The subordinates were furious and cursed House, calling him a devil. The scan results showed that there was nothing abnormal in the man's brain, but his ear bled due to the scan. House still wanted to conduct another scan, but the subordinates refused to cooperate. The hospital director also rebuked him, saying that treating patients based on intuition made him seem like a madman, and arranged for the man to be discharged the next day. House fell into self-doubt. He ran 30 kilometers at night and had a sudden inspiration while cooling down by a fountain. He found the director and said that the man had hypothalamic dysfunction, and he went into the swimming pool to cool down, not to commit suicide. Injecting cortisone could help him recover. The director refused to take the risk. When handling the discharge procedures the next day, out of pity for the man's tragic family situation, she still injected cortisone into the man. Just when everyone thought it was useless, the man's hand began to tremble, and his throat also made some movements. Then he unbuckled his seatbelt and miraculously stood up from the wheelchair. Only then did the director realize that House was right. However, Wilson stopped her, believing that it was just House's good luck and that it wouldn't hurt to let him be disappointed once.